No, you can't right now. You can't.
I'll be here.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the December 1st, 2025 Emmaus Borough Council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is scared of all.
For the record, Council Vice President Baumgardner is absent, and so is Councilmember Lavenberg. Personal appeals part 1. Do we have anyone in the audience with a public appeal? Seeing none, I don't think we have any online guests, do we?
There are none.
We have no online guests. Does anyone have a community minute to bring forward? Madam Mayor?
Thank you. This Saturday is our old-fashioned Christmas from 4 to 7 p.m. with tree lighting at 6:30. We also have the Holiday Cheers Trail, which runs from noon, I believe, till 5 p.m. And also there is open house candlelight tours at the Knaus home from 6 to 8 p.m. You do need a ticket for that, as well as the Holiday Cheers Trail. Other than that, progress.
Anyone else have a community minute to bring forward? All right, hearing none. Under special presentations today, we are going to do the 2026 proposed budget presentation. We're going to let Shane present a slideshow.
Okay. Oops. All right. Okay, this is in your council packets. We will also post this on the borough website. Council passes the first reading of the budget. The following is what I would say the set of highlights for the 2026 proposed budget. So first of all, to discuss the budget process, as council's aware, the CRD committee led by Mrs. Watt and 2 other council members has been meeting with departments since January. I send out budget letters to management on July 1st. We requested that their capital budget plans and 3-year plans would be submitted to us by July 18th. And their overall operating and capital budget proposals for 2026 would be submitted by September 8th, 2025. Starting on September 8th, I scheduled 23 different meetings with committees, department managers, and different teams in each department. And I submitted a preliminary budget and my 353-page budget message to council on October 13th. From there, we scheduled 4-hour budget workshops. We scheduled 10 of them. I believe we held 7. The minutes are for your approval this evening in the council packet. The first reading of the budget is this evening. If council passes the first reading of the budget, it has to be displayed publicly for 10 days, after which time Borough Council would consider it for adoption. The tentative adoption date is December 15th, which is your next regularly scheduled council meeting. All right, so let's talk about the breakdown of a household's costs in 2025. We showed this last year in our budget presentation. We base this off of a $200,000 home assessment. Our statistics in 2023 showed the average home assessment is $180,000. We believe it's closer to 200,000, and 200,000 is a nice round number to use. So based on a $200,000 home assessment, currently this is what a typical homeowner would pay in 2025 versus 2024. So again, we showed that last year. and you know what the results of that were. So just to cover, what's covered in each fund. First of all, I think it's important. I think there's a perception that property taxes are what covers your entire operating budget and your capital budget. That is not the truth. It's definitely a perception, but the reality is property taxes only cover about 35.5% of your total operating costs. 44.6% of the general fund is covered by property taxes. The other 55.4% is covered by fees, the Act 511 and wage taxes, grants, and other revenue sources. 77.9% of the fire fund is covered by property taxes. The remainder is covered by commercial insurance fees, inspection revenue, donations, and grants. 100% of the water fund is covered by user fees and grants. 100% of the sewer fund is covered by user fees and grants. 100% of the liquid fuels fund is covered by the state liquid fuels grant. 100% of the street lighting fund is covered by property taxes. 100% of the special roads fund is covered by property taxes as well, unless there's other sources such as grants or transfers from other funds. 100% of the capital projects fund is covered by transfers from other funds and grant money. That's important to note. The capital project fund, you don't have a capital project tax. I will say that property taxes covers a very large portion of the money that's transferred, but when you look at the cash inside of that fund, it's actually transferred money or grant money. It is not actual new tax revenue per se. 100% of the debt services fund is going to be proposed to be covered by property taxes, with the exception of any debt from water and sewer operations. Funds are transferred from those funds to cover that debt. 100% of the new library fund will be covered by property taxes. Library contributions are already covered by property taxes, and we'll discuss that in a few minutes. All right, so if I broke down the expenses in my tax bill, what does it pay for? I think it's important for residents to understand that. I'm going to briefly show the next slide, which is the overall spreadsheet. It'll be better for people to just look at that online rather than go down through it line by line. But in general, these are the percentages of what your property tax bills pay for. About 8.29% is general administration liability, insurances, legal, engineering, those kinds of things. 25.82% is insurance and benefits. The police department is about 26.34%. Ambulance operations, because they generate revenue through transport fees and also some wage tax, as well as in the police department, some wage tax is geared, in particular, the LST tax goes to emergency services. So that's broken down between fire, ambulance, and police. But ambulance is 0.79% of a tax bill. Coach department has been self-sustaining in terms of revenue, covering expenses over the past several years. Public works, compost, etc. And again, this is in the general fund, is about 1.87%. Buildings, a little under 1%. Capital expenses are about 8.3%. Debt is 7.5%. Fire department's about 6% of your overall tax bill. Street lighting is 1.5%. Roads are 3%. Library is a little over 1.5%, and recreation is 1.75%. Again, the spreadsheet, which we'll have posted on our website, actually shows you the breakdown of how expenses are covered with direct offsetting revenue. So that's revenue generated by that department. Remaining to be funded, Act 511 taxes being broken down, and then taking it all the way out to tax millage to cover the rest of those expenses. So again, that will be available on the website. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You've all seen this repeatedly. So what does 2026 look like? As councils work through the budget, we're proposing a slate general property tax increase in 2026. For a $200,000 house, it'll be about a $40 $40 tax increase. It's a total of a 0.2 mil increase, which is right around 1.9% in the general fund. There is no fire tax increase. There's no street lighting tax increase. There's no special roads fund tax increase. There's no sewer rate increase. There is no refuse rate increase. There will be a water increase, which we'll discuss. The other thing that we proposed, and I'll show a chart, is after council has debated it, we separated out the library cost and the debt service cost by carving out two new funds and created a tax for both. It's important to note, though, that while the taxes may be new, they do not result in any tax increases. They're separated out to increase transparency in the tax bills. We reduce the other property taxes proportionately, which we'll show actually in this slide. So by adding the library fund and the debt services fund, the 2025 millage you can see on the left column, holding everything the same and breaking it down to essentially the same exact millage. The middle column is what it would have broken down to, having the library fund and the debt services fund. So we essentially just carved out 0.1794 mils is essentially $147,000, which was being taken out of the general fund prior. So what we did was we just carved that away from the general fund and created its own millage for that library. And the same thing with debt services. Rather than transferring the money from the general fund and having the general fund taxes, what we did was we carved it out of the general fund and just created the millage inside of the debt services fund. So you'll see what will be a library tax and a debt services tax, but it doesn't change the millage. Now, with that said, as Borough Council has worked through, thought I saw somebody wanted in. As Borough Council has worked through the budget, if you look in the very right column, nothing changes in any of the lines below the general fund. However, as I said in the previous slide, we're proposing a 0.2 mil increase in the general fund. So rather than it being 6.7268 mils, it would be 6.9268 mils, which would generate that approximate $40 increase in property taxes. Questions about that? Is that clear? Okay. All right. So, there's some significant operational department costs that you need to be aware of. Administration, including tax collector, clerical, management, engineering, legal, liability insurances. We spend about $2.7 million. 1.6 million of that 2.7 is in insurance costs. The police department costs 4.87 million. The ambulance department is 1.37 million. Codes department is just under 314,000. EMA, health officer, and civil service is just under 43,000. And the public works department, excluding water and sewer, is just under $3 million. And in addition to that, parks and recreation is $822,000. Some of the other significant costs, fire department is just over $3 million. But of that 3.1 million, that includes in this budget a $1.4 million purchase for a new fire apparatus. Understand that we have to show the full purchase because we're going to actually write a check for 1.4 million. However, that's going to be taken out as a loan. So the number is inflated because it's loan money. You'll see in the revenue section the offsetting revenue for a loan. So it's important to note that. The library contribution, it is, we did say that we're not increasing taxes because of the library. However, it is important to also, for transparency, to note that the proposal is that our current contribution of $140,000 to the library goes up to $147,000. Debt services, in total is 1.389 million. That includes the fire apparatus. That includes the Penvest payment for the PFAS. It includes our bond payment. The new mandatory nearly $700,000 county radio purchase. That loan kicks in next year at $100 and some thousand a year. In terms of the tax, water and sewer debt is not included. That's to transfer in. General fund and fire millage was reduced proportionately for that debt service tax. So drivers for a 1.9% tax increase. It's important to note that inflation in 2025, the September report showed that it's at 3% through September. Just like our bills at home, operation costs continue to increase, cost of supplies, electricity, insurance, wages, and benefits continue to increase. There are costs that have significant increases, such as utility costs, labor, and the like. Utility cost, we just signed a contract for electricity for the second consecutive year. Electrical rates went up by double digits. I think last year it was over 20%. This year it's over 10% again. And so those are costs that you can't avoid. You have contractual costs with unions that continue to increase. And those are costs that you can't necessarily avoid. We did not see an increase in general fund taxes in 4 years. And so by not doing that, we spent down 100% of our surpluses, which resulted in the very unpopular tax increase last year into this year because it finally caught up to us. The goal is to try to avoid that by increasing revenue in an appropriate areas to offset the necessary expenses. So again, significant cost. Electricity is going up by 10%. While that doesn't sound like a lot, it's $28,000, right? I mean, we have a lot of operations. Our water operation in particular is very expensive for water and electricity. So there will be a large increase. Luckily, though, we're locked in for 4 years. So it's not going to go up exponentially over the next 4 years. We were able to lock in and that auction that keeps going on every couple of years, everybody's using as the excuse to boost the rates up. IGS, the company that we're going with, actually buys excess capacity. So those capacity auctions are not going to affect our rates for the next 4 years. So that's why we locked in with IGS. Health insurance is going up by 9.9%. We do begin negotiating union contracts in 2026. That's good news because the goal is obviously to have cost containment. We're working with a broker to work on strategy. It's important to note that we're spending over $2 million in health insurance and $1.6 million in retirement benefits in 2026. Debt costs are nearly $1.4 million. Workers' compensation is going up by $42,000. Overall, our liability insurance costs are increasing by $90,000. So remember, we did cut positions. We decreased wages from 2024 to 2025. For 2026, wage costs are 3.35% higher than 2025. It's an increase of about $245,000. Wages are still $250,000 less than what they were in 2024. Overall benefit costs increases were flat, but that's largely due to individuals opting out of health insurance, several retirees unfortunately passing away, and a better than expected pension MMO. So even though the rates increased, overall the increase was relatively flat because of those other factors. Overall operating budgets increased by about $1.5 million. However, a large portion of capital expenditures are through grants and development fees. So capital investments, we're just going to briefly go through a couple of these. Again, this will be available on the website for review. The significant capital, again, we have some vehicles. We need to buy the bucket truck. We know that the bucket truck is still down. It's been down for months. They had to order parts from Germany. We have major issues with it, so we need to purchase a new bucket truck. We have the waterworks building roof and other building work that needs to be done. As you know, while they're building the PFAS building, the other building has a roof that is rotted and leaking. We have the MS4 mandate work. We have the fire apparatus that we're purchasing, as well as some other equipment. Rather than buying a new backhoe and loader, as you know, our public works director felt that for $10,000, we could probably extend the life of both pieces of equipment for about 4 years. So we invested to do that. The compost site equipment, the leaf truck is a $300,000 purchase. $200,000 of that is grant money. That purchase is due for next year. We continue to have repair costs for the pool, although not as significant as this year. We still have some infrastructure around the top of the pool to deal with, as well as a couple of cracks in the bowl. We have some park upgrades and repairs that we need to make. We have the Alliance Park grant project that we are continuing to do. We have the Furnace Dam Pavilion and the ADA improvements, which that money was drawn from development funds. We have picnic tables that need to be replaced. We have the Arts Pavilion roof to do. That's a $70,000 project. I'm happy to note that I did last night hit the submit button prior to the 11:59 deadline. So the LSA grant has been submitted. So we will wait probably until late spring to see if we receive those funds or not. South 4th Street field improvements, we have development funds for that project, as well as some other repairs and improvements. And one of the things that was highly discussed was buying a used paver for $100,000, which we paid out of the Liquid Fuels Fund, not of the Liquid Fuels grant. And we'll get into why council made that decision in a few minutes. A major reason why the rates aren't increasing by more is because of the cost savings. Last year, we discussed more tax increases as well as more water and sewer rate increases. We'll discuss water and sewer. However, throughout the course of the year, we had the following cost savings of about $12.6 million. Almost $10 million of that was grant money. That was the largest piece of that was obviously the PFAS Penvest grant. We were very fortunate to get the very vast majority of the project funded through grants. And then you see down through here the different initiatives by the departments, from police to public works, fire, codes, the labor cuts that we made for 2025. Lions Park, that project cost came in at $2 million because of the infiltration issues. We scaled it back and we decided to do the project in-house rather than outsourcing it. And we feel that we will do that project we think we'll do that project within the initial budget. Again, downsizing it a bit. Definitely won't be a splash pad. That projection in that study was, I think they missed a 1 in front of the other 6 digits that they said the cost would be. So that's not going to happen, but the majority of the rest of that project is occurring. The baseball field is already laid out, and we'll be finishing that project next spring and summer. By having a state certified safety committee, we save 5% off of our insurance. And this is the part about the paver that we were talking about. By our department doing paving in-house, we'll save about $202,000 next year, as opposed to outsourcing it. So Borough Council, in our budget workshops, made the decision to keep it in, the proposed budget. All right. So sewer, so Borough Council, you're very familiar with this graph. This is from our Waterworth, consultants, and our software. What this shows is projected expenses versus revenues, for whatever period of time that we want to use it. Because LCA has delayed the first phase of the very large $380 million project by a year, our position is we feel that we do not need to raise sewer rates. In fact, what we decided to also do was, rather than take out the $4 million loan for the infrastructure repairs and the manhole projects, we felt that the money that we've currently saved, as well as upcoming infrastructure savings, we will use about $400,000 per year over the next several years to continue to address the manholes, as well as begin relining the pipes as needed. And at the same time, we'll continue to apply for the small water and sewer grants. But that will help offset some of those future rate increases for our residents, as we projected out what the $4 million would cost over 10 or 20 years, and then what's the next 4 million and 5 million, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So at this point, we felt that we did not need to increase sewer rates. So again, sewer rates will be exactly what they are in 2025. They'll be the same thing in 2026. Water rate increases are inevitable, though. We knew that last year. We showed you that last year. The Waterworth models have shown for the past 2 years that significant increases would be needed. That's really going to be to maintain the infrastructure improvements and the operational costs to the system. In particular, the PFAS project costs are significant. The loan repayment, even though the loan is much less than what we had anticipated. If you remember 2 years ago, Waterworth was showing us that we should probably be raising 15 to 20% a year for 5 years, because we did not get as big of a loan as what we had anticipated. Rather, we had larger grants. Those increases won't be as high, although they will need to occur. But the loan repayment's $113,000 per year. The PFAS system costs, it's important to note that they will be at least $100,000 per year just to change out the bedding. The bedding needs to be changed out and estimated every 10 months. We're not going to really know that until the system gets flowing, but that's what all the engineers and the manufacturers are telling us, which means every several years you're going to get double hit with replacing the bedding twice in 1 year. But it's about $100,000 per change out. Remember, there are 4 12-foot in diameter by 20-foot high tanks, so it's a large amount of bedding that'll be needed changed. What we're not completely sure of is what the chemicals, electrical, and other operating costs are at this point. We have estimates, but how accurate they are, we won't know until we start flowing the water late next spring. We have the lead service line replacement mandate that we're dealing with. You have budgeted $75,000 for next year. That number needs to continue to increase, as you're aware. We have the well pump repairs and rebuild, $35,000 next year. We need to continue to replace the meters. We have $100,000 earmarked next year. And the model shows that we need to raise revenue by 15 to 20% in 2026 and at least 5% per year moving forward. And that doesn't necessarily include another PFAS construction project, which, as you're aware, we are on the bubble on 2 of the wells that are along the Little Lehigh Creek, which have nothing to do with the fire department. Those are underground springs leading from the creek that feed those beds. So the 2 what we'll call green pyramids that you see The very first one, the one that looks like a volcano, is the current PFAS project, right? The smaller one, right now we have projected out in 2031. That's if we do another PFAS project. That really depends on what the state and federal levels are at that point. You never know. It seems like it's a moving target. Our readings are right on the bubble of what the current acceptable levels are according to DEP, not necessarily EPA, but I think that all depends on what political party is in charge at the time. So, but for now, we are going to project out that that expense is inevitable. And so, the way that it's proposed out with rate increases, it will keep you right in the realm of where you need to be in terms of maintaining a sustainable operational budget. So 2026, it's telling us we should be around 10%, 2026 or 2026, 15%, 2027, 10%, and then 5% beyond that. Obviously, every year, as we update numbers, we update projections, we update capital estimates, capital needs, operational costs. This chart flows and changes accordingly, but at least it gives you what the projections look like based on what our current knowledge is. Questions? All right. All right. So this chart is the meter fee. This is what council is proposing based on our workshops. What our residents need to focus on is the top line in each of the next, I think at least the next two charts, because the bulk of our community is residential, and those are the 5/8 inch, half-inch meters. Right now, quarterly, in your base water bill, residents pay $20 per quarter for the meter. The proposal is that it'll go up to $26 per quarter. The capital infrastructure fee right now is $20 per quarter as well. The proposal is that it'll go up to $23 per quarter. And again, you can see all the way down the chart. If I go back, you'll see for the rentals, more commercial properties, all the way up to industrial, they all go up proportionally as well. And same thing with the infrastructure. So these are quarterly fees. The multi-user account, so that is for apartment buildings essentially. The quarterly fee right now is $12. The proposal is that it'll be $14 per quarter. And then on the bottom of this chart is what the flow rate is. This is for per 1,000 gallons. Right now it's $3.35 per 1,000. 2026 is proposed to be $3.63 per 1,000 gallons. And note that for 2025, we had deleted the descending rate for the higher usages. So the commercial properties that are using $100,000 per quarter would get a discount for the higher usage as they went. We deleted that. It's even across the board. Every gallon of water that you use is billed equally. So there is no discount for those industrial properties that use higher water usage. All right, so how do we compare? I've shown council this. Council knows LCA just released their rates for 2026. They are having considerable increases in both water and sewer rates. They put out a public memorandum. It's due to the high cost of operations, the regulations, increased infrastructure demands, many of the same things that we're dealing with. And so they also released this chart to your right that I think is important for us to show. What it shows is the water and sewer bills in Lehigh Valley and Pennsylvania. The average Pennsylvania monthly bill is about $85 a month. The average LCA bill is $77. Ours is right around $68 $69, somewhere in that range. And then the lowest in Pennsylvania is at $46. So, all right, so that's all well and good, but what does that mean for me as a resident? That's what you want to know. The water increase. So we base things off of an average household of 4 that uses about 15,000 gallons per quarter. The increase will average about $17.40 a quarter, or about $69.60 per year. Okay. So what are you paying next year? So again, refuse rates are not changing. They shouldn't change again in 2027 either. I think 2028 is the next time that those are slated to go up based on the contract that we have. Sewer rates, you are paying the same in 2026 as you are in 2025. Water, again, you'll be paying a little bit more over the course of next year for water. And then property taxes, it's about a 1.92% increase, and you can see those numbers. The total average homeowner cost, which is really at the end of the day, I think what matters to everybody in the room and everybody in the community. The total average homeowner cost in 2025 is, between all of your utilities and your property taxes, is around $3,398. In 2026, it'll increase by about $92 to $3,490. So it's a 2.72 increase percent. Okay. Any questions on that at this point?
No, so the number that the average resident's worried about, $92 a year total for all of the services and taxes for the average homeowner.
Correct.
So approximately $8 a month, about.
All right. Mr. President.
All right. Thank you for that presentation. Next up is we're going to have a reading, make a motion to approve November 17th council meeting minutes. Motion by Councilman Brown, seconded by Mr. Anders. Is there any additions or corrections? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And then we have some budget workshop minutes that need to be approved. We have, I
Can you
think
na-
we can do them
Yeah, I think you do them all together.
all
but
together.
List the dates, please.
So would someone like to make a motion to approve the October 16th, October 21st, October 23rd, November 4th, November 6th, November 13th, and November 25th meeting minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Lavenberg. Is there any additions, corrections to any of these?
No additions or corrections. I just wanted to just say to each of you and of course our department managers and all the staff, thank you for being here for those 7 meetings that we had during that time period to get to the point where we are tonight.
Anything else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we have no decisions on bids. Under communication, there is the Running Kind event request. That is a ongoing event. We'll send that over to staff. And then we have a Melanie Schreimer applied for the library board that we're going to send to Gen Ad for an interview.
Chad, is the Running Kind event, is that it appears to be new because they're asking for a different field. I would think maybe Parks and Rec should maybe discuss that event.
We have time.
Yeah, I think there's enough
Okay.
time.
Around the soccer field.
I just think there, might be some things that we should review and discuss on that.
Right, our next meeting is, I think, the 18th. Yeah. So we'll have to invite them the 18th meeting or all right, Borough Engineers Report, we have none. Solicitors Report,
No report, progress.
thank you. Unfinished Business Part 1, we have none. Under New Business, we have reading of 3 ordinances. Our first ordinance is Ordinance 1285, an ordinance levying taxes for the fiscal year 2026 for the Borough of Emmaus at the rate of 10.6456 mils pursuant to Section 1310 of the Borough Code of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and a revenue neutral levy based on the 2013 Lehigh County tax reassessment split between the general fund tax of 6.9268 mils and a fire fund tax of 1.4751 mils and a special roads fund tax of 0.32 mils, a streetlight fund tax of 0.159 mils, and the establishment of a new library tax of 0.1794 mils, and the establishment of a debt service tax of 1.5853 mils. Would someone like to place that in a form of motion? Motion by Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Mr. Lavenberg. Is there any comment, discussion?
Just a note on the library tax. It is something that we have always paid towards the library. It's just we are breaking out and putting it on the tax bill so each person could see what that cost is associated and have it in one area. Mr. Pepe, is there anything else to add to that?
Yeah, so the council elected to do that with the debt services tax as well.
Yes, thank you.
So again, the discussion was looking at the different taxes rather than lumping them all together. If there was a way to break them out to be more transparent in the tax bill, council's elected to do that.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote. Councilwoman Watt,
Aye.
Councilman Anders,
Aye.
Councilman Lavenberg,
Aye.
Councilman Dufresne,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Balliet, aye. Next up is Ordinance 1286, an ordinance amending Chapter 18, sewer and sewage disposal rates of the Code of Ordinance of the Borough of Emmaus, Pennsylvania for the fiscal year 2026. Someone like to place a motion? Motion by Mr. Dufresne, seconded by Mr. Lavenberg. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Councilwoman Watt,
Aye.
Councilman Anders,
Aye.
Councilman Lavenberg,
Aye.
Councilman Dufresne,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Balliet, aye. Next up is Ordinance 1287, an ordinance amending Chapter 26, Sections 105 and 106 of the codified ordinance dealing with the water rate schedule and the billing and collection procedures for the Borough of Emmaus, Pennsylvania. Motion by Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Anders. Any discussion? Also a roll call vote. Councilwoman Watt,
Aye.
Councilman Anders,
Aye.
Councilman Lavenberg,
Aye.
Councilman Dufresne,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Balliet, aye. Thank you for that. Unfinished business part 2, we have none. Does anyone have an item not on the agenda they would like to bring forward?
Can I?
Yes.
Just to point it out to everybody, I did send an email to Mr. Pepe. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court did finally rule that you are now allowed to amend your agendas. Once again, it was a 4-3 vote. It was a narrow decision, but should you ever have to amend your agendas, you may now do so at the meetings. Thank you. Progress.
Madam Mayor's report.
I have no report. Progress. Maybe Shane will under his borough manager's report.
Okay.
Yeah.
So committee reports. First up is Public Works, Councilman Anders.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing for official action this evening. Just a quick note that they are calling for possibly, who knows, 0 to, whatever inches of snow. Our Public Works will be ready if needed to take care of any and address the snow problem if it occurs. But beyond that, our next meeting is Monday, December 8th at 4:45. And with that, I'll report progress.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Prior to tonight's council meeting, I did receive my phone call that we all get that you signed up for. Trash has been pushed back
Friday.
a day. So collection will be Friday morning, so put it out Thursday. Thank you.
2 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Up next is Health, Sanitation, and Codes. Councilman Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to jokingly use that PA Supreme Court ruling because Mr. Pepe, in our agenda from Health, Sanitations, and Codes, I know you were busy with the budget, but the nuisance sign ordinance, which is really important.
Yeah, it's a nuisance is what it is. Mr. Brown.
All right, we got 4 items on our agenda for tonight. We're going to start with the appointment of Jennifer Wetzel to the Joint Environmental Advisory Council to the term of expiring March 7th of 2027. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Brown. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
All right, Mr. Chairman, the next item up for discussion is Resolution 2025-36. It's a plan revision for the new land development at 130-132 South 6th Street. If you all remember, we had it up on the screen. They were looking for apartments. Again, that is just a resolution and for the modules for the docs for signatures. And I place that in the form of motion.
Motion by Councilman Brown. Is there a second? Oh, I didn't see that. Seconded by Councilman Lavenberg. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
All right, the next 2 items are going to be release of a review of the release for escrow. The one item is 300 Furnace Street request for release of escrow. Again, this is a review. This is the Ironworks Furnace Street project, and I'll put that in the form of motion for review.
Motion by Mr. Brown, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any discussion? Mr. Lavenberg?
What do you mean for a review? Are we releasing it or not?
They're asking for, the letter is asking for a review. It's not asking for a release.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion?
I'm doing that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
All right, Mr. Chairman, the last item for tonight is another a letter for review. This is for K Builders request security reduction for phase 3 of fields at Indian Creek. And I put that in form of motion, sorry.
Motion by Mr. Brown, seconded by Mr. Lavenberg. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed?
And our next meeting is December 16th, Tuesday, here in the Borough Hall at 4:45. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Up next is Parks and Recreation, myself. Our next meeting will be Thursday, December 18th at 4:45. And with that, I'll report progress. Public Safety, Ms. Bumgardner. She's not here. We have not met since our last meeting. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, December 10th at 9 a.m. And with that, I'll report progress. General Administration, Councilman Lavenberg.
Thank you. We're meeting this Wednesday at 9 a.m. We are interviewing somebody for the library board. Are you going to be able to make it, Chad?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't know what Shanna's situation is, so good, we'll have a quorum then. With that, I report progress.
All right, budget and finance, Councilman Dufresne.
All right, so the first item tonight, Shane, I can do the motion to approve the budget and advertise in the same one or two? different-
Yeah.
Same one?
Yep.
So you can see the budget in there. I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 budget and authorize the advertising of the final proposed budget.
A motion by Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Lavenberg. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Okay, you can see the budget performance report through November 2025 in there. The next item that we have here is the resolution 2025-35, which is the bill list resolved by Borough Council to authorize payment of the December 1, 2025 bill list as follows. Bill list $862,194.31. Payroll number 24, $212,593.56. Payroll taxes, $69,723.59 for a total of $1,144,511.46. Done this 1st of December, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Watt. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
You can see the significant revenue and expenses for November 2025. I just want to say on the budget process, again, thank you, Shane, for the work you put into it, to Chris Snyder, the treasurer. I believe Jessica helps with at least the budget message, correct, Shane? So try not to forget. Someone help me if we do. The department heads, for all they did this year, extra prior to June, to have their cost savings initiative meetings. Thank you to Councilwoman Watt for her CRD committee, for her being the leading charge behind the cost savings meetings and making sure they happen and making sure the deadlines were at least hit or followed up on. Thank you to Councilman Brown for scheduling the meeting with the police department. That was helpful with that. So, and everyone else on council for all the extra time that was put into it this year. I've had 8 years of experience with this. This was the smoothest in the actual meetings in October and November because of all the work that was done prior to that. So thank you to everybody, who chipped in there and who helped with that. Next meeting is Wednesday, December 3rd at 11 a.m. In person or Zoom. It'll be available both ways. I report progress.
Mr. Limber?
I'd like to piggyback on that and also to thank you, Chris, too, because I know you were a big part in helping Shane, just reassurance and providing numbers and ideas. So thank you to you too also.
Thanks.
All right, next up is Community Relations Planning and Development, Councilwoman Watt.
We have not met recently. We are planned to meet tomorrow at 4:45. However, with the snow and the children at home for snow day, unless there's something urgent, I propose we cancel.
I don't have anything urgent.
Shane wants that.
Nate?
The mayor and I have,
Budget.
the mayor and I have an engagement tomorrow evening.
Are you shoveling
Anyway.
walks?
Not
It
exactly.
depends. We have to raise some money.
I thought that was Wednesday.
We have 2 nights in a row.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
So that-
Okay, so we will not meet tomorrow. Progress.
All right, thank you. Under boards and commissions, you're going to find that the Emmaus Public Library Board met in October, so their meeting minutes and reports are attached. Personal Appeals Part 2. Is there anyone in the audience with a appeal? Seeing none, and we have no online guests. Borough Managers Report.
So a couple things. Again, as you're aware, and I notified council, we have locked in a new electrical contract. We did a reverse auction that had, I think, 13 different suppliers bidding on it. And then what I also do is I go out and get at least two other companies so that we have kind of base starting points. One of them we've used in the past, and that's a company called IGS. And IGS is a little bit unique because of the way that they buy their electricity. And even though all the other bidders were bidding against each other, we have decided to go with IGS for a 4-year locked rate. And as you know, in the contract, it also locks in that despite any increases in the capacity auction in those 4 years, their rate will not change, which is not the same as any other bid that we received. It's not even the same as the current rate that we had. And so we locked in with IGS for 9.86 cents for the next 4 years. So you are aware of that. I just need to inform you publicly that we've done that. So we will have stability. That is an increase, as you know, from the I think it was 8.9 cents that we had before. It's better than what we thought it was going to be. I think everybody else was over 10 cents. So while still not great, I feel pretty good about it. If you've looked lately for residential, I would encourage anybody to go out and not just accept the 14 cents that PPL charges, but to look at I think it's PA Power Switch, I think is the generally accepted one. I actually just looked at it last night for my own, and my rate climbed to over 10 cents. And so most of them were in the 11 and 12 cent range per kilowatt hour. So we're locked in for 4 years at that rate. The next thing is I've hired Sarah Heyman as an advanced EMT. Sarah will be starting in the next few weeks for us. And the last thing I want to announce is the mayor and I on Wednesday will be attending an event. The borough has been nominated in the Lehigh Valley. We've been nominated as one of 3 candidates for the Community of Distinction Award. In my absence, the mayor did a very fantastic presentation, I'm told by Mr. Anders.
Awesome.
In regards to our nomination, and we will find out on Wednesday evening if we receive that honor or not. There are 2 other Lehigh Valley municipalities, and I mean, you know, the arrogance in me says we're superior to both. I don't want to mention either one of them, but I feel that we put together a very good presentation. So we'll see. I report progress. And again, before I do that, I think just to say what Mr. DeFran has already said, what Mr. Levenberg has said, and what others have said, the budget process did go much smoother this year. I encourage you to use the same process next year. I think that meeting with the departments throughout the course of the year, I think reinforce that we should not be seeing surprises in September. And we should really just be talking about whether or not we're going to move forward with the next year of their 3-year plan. And if things are on track to where they had predicted or had proposed, I think those meetings are very important to continue to do, so that when it comes November of next year, the process continues to be as smooth as it can be. You still have important decisions to make, just like you did this year. But I think you went in much more prepared and had more valuable conversations because you were already all very knowledgeable about all the different issues and things that we were dealing with. And I think it made for better debate throughout the process. So I'll report progress.
Shane, can I, the budget presentation that you did tonight at this meeting, that's going to be on the YouTube video, obviously. It's also going to be a link on the website right underneath the
Yep.
budget.
Yep.
Can we put out a Facebook post linking it to the
I'll do-
website?
I'll do whatever you'd like.
Let's just, no one can say we weren't as transparent as possible. Unfortunately, only two individuals are here tonight other than press and attorneys. But at least it's there.
Yep, we'll take care of that.
Thanks.
We'll have it up on all three by, we'll have it up by Wednesday. We'll have it up by Wednesday. In all likelihood by tomorrow morning, but we'll say Wednesday just to be safe.
Hopefully we can make a better headline with the newspapers will.
Hint, hint.
He laughs.
All right.
You good?
Progress. I think I've had enough for today.
All right. Under president's business, I have none. There's no executive session. Would someone like to make a motion for adjournment? Motion by Mr. Anders, seconded by Mr. Brown.
Clearly read the packet.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned at 7:02.
The community of distinction that would have tied and the mayor would have voted to break the tie. I just want to point that out yet again.
That would have been